What's the biggest mistake in human history? The Compromise of 1877. This is purely a U.S. history mistake, and I'm explaining it as best as a B-plus student of history can remember. The 1876 race for president between Democrat Samuel Tilden and Republican Rutherford B. Hayes was incredibly close, like I think no winner could be called. Anyway, a few southern states, then in the midst of Reconstruction, like they had U.S. Army soldiers there to enforce equal rights since there was KKK, lynchings, all that horrible shit, said they'd give their electoral votes to Hayes if he ended Reconstruction. The deal was struck, Hayes became president, soldiers left the South, and immediately Jim Crow laws were enacted in many southern states which enshrined separate but equal state laws, different bathrooms and water fountains for blacks, sitting in back of buses for blacks, preference for whites over blacks for better paying jobs, poll taxes for blacks I think, and other shit, in the South for about another 100 years until the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That cornerstone of white supremacy still poisons many parts of American life today. I'm sure it'd still be here if Reconstruction remained, but having nearly a century of that racist shit in law really held the USA back morality-wise. The Abbasid Caliphate was losing a war against the Mongols. With Mongol armies closing in on Baghdad from all sides, the Caliph did little to prepare for the coming siege. The subsequent Mongol sack of Baghdad destroyed the heart of the Muslim world at the height of Islam's golden age. The Mongols destroyed the House of Wisdom, costing all of humanity countless knowledge, histories and more. What's worse, the Mongol destruction came during a period of Muslim tolerance and progressive thinking, leading many subsequent Muslim thinkers to believe that being tolerant and progressive had led to incurring God's wrath. This triggered a wave of intolerance and ultra-conservatism amongst Muslim thinkers, who believed that by being too tolerant they had provoked God into sending the Mongols to destroy them. Unironically, agriculture is a strong contender. Human height, generally a decent proxy for nutrition quality, nosedives in populations adopting agriculture, and heights didn't recover until the last couple centuries. Tooth problems also show up much more after agriculture. The only reason agriculture could outcompete hunter-gathering lifestyles is because for every healthy and fit hunter-gatherer, you had 10 scrawny and malnourished farmers. There's a case to be made that we dramatically increased human suffering for 10,000 years in the name of having a secure supply of food and the possibility to get where we are today, with the power to doom our world in the short term with our weapons and our industry, or to save Earth life in the far longer term by bringing it with us to the stars. Was it worth it? Can we even answer that yet? Not dismantling poverty union after defeating Nazi Germany. Stalin achieved his goals he made before World War II started. Both sides wanted the same. Nazis were stopped, but poverty commies were allowed to claim half of Europe and genocide the shit out of it. And because of this, Cold War happened, which brought the world one button away from humanity's destruction. Also China, poverty union v2, Cuba, North Korea, Turkmenistan wouldn't have happened. Naive Western Europe and Na did the same mistake second time when Yeltsin came to power. Russia was starving, so the West donated lots of food, aided Russian government to recover. Few years after that, Chechen genocides happened in 97-03, mafia powers brought Putin to power. Few years after that, Russia invaded Georgia, few years after, Ukraine, then attempted to cleanse Ukraine again. As for Yeltsin, who was blessed with aid from the West, he didn't just purge Chechnya in 97, he was also a governor of Yekaterinburg, formerly Sverdlovsk, where anthrax was released from bioweapon production plant. Didn't say a word to the public, allowing many people to die to save face. Google suggests outbreaks continue every few years to this day. Pathetic scum like every single Russian leader from when monkeys roamed the earth to modern day. In a way, that will attract a lot of hate, it's medicine. If I could pick and choose, I'd like to make kids' medicine/treatment exempt from this reasoning, of course. But whilst it's an incredible feat which helps us enjoy life, it's a direct challenge to nature, evolution and survival of the fittest. The strongest and smartest reproducing whilst the weak and sick die off. Grim, not a view I'm invested in. But I can reflect on. If an animal suffers and we declare that it has no quality of life, we'll kill it, humanely. A person suffers and has no quality of life will prologue the inevitable despair feelings. This in turn may prevent someone who has a chance to live from getting treatment. We're overpopulating the planet and Mother Nature always wins in the end. She's chucked natural disasters, big generation-defining illnesses our way. Every time we cure one, another pops up. Whether it's just our destructive nature, overgrazing, or a mutated virus, she will have the last laugh. And a final humanity dig: using the US, we create medicine for all mankind, which you can have, for a 1000% markup, just playing devil's advocate.